Verna Monsanto on YouTube. So this would also be found on that channel, and I will take this video and post it on the Roundtable's channel as we go live. So guys, welcome to the Roundtable. I am your host. What's going on? I am your host, Ms. Verna Monsanto, and we have your co-host out here, Mr. Brian Woods in the building.
Yes, hey, I'm all in the building. Hey, how you doing today, Verna?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Awesome, man. Hey, I'm excited about today, man. We're gonna have an awesome conversation that's gonna go on. Hey, we slated, we were having some talk behind the scene about how we're gonna take it to them today, but we actually gonna have our guest that's actually gonna come on today. Either way, we had something awesome lined up. So he's gonna come in the room today, and we're gonna, let him talk to us about some of this contracting. But prior to them coming in the room, let's talk. We can get into talking about what we're going to talk about in Loop, because I'll tell you what, like we said, our platform is not for just for people to be watching. This is a platform for people to expand and expound upon what they want to do financially to secure their legacy and their children's legacy, to be able to create generational wealth on a level playing field, wealth and doing the whole time. So without further ado, we can get into how we're gonna get into it. Mr. White should be here shortly. I talk to him, and he's gonna drop off on us some information that a lot of people didn't really understand or whatnot like that. So we can get off into our conversation we're talking about with the power of duplication, and then once you come in the room, then we'll get off into having that talk in the contracting work.
Okay. Are you sharing screen, or am I sharing screen?
Nah, you can go ahead. Hey, you go ahead and take footage and share it. And Mr. White come in, and then we'll have the conversation about what's going around. But
I didn't get it. I'm gonna have to have you share it because I can't pull it up from my computer.
Okay. And there's a wheels away. Good thing we were doing some training on you, showing me some different stuff, Ms. V, because I'm now I've been lost in the sauce. And that's why it's good to train behind the scene. Can you see my screen?
It's coming up.
All right, let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. All right, you ready? Hey, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Only thing we can't hear it. You might need to go back and make it so you can hear it. Hit those two buttons.
Okay, hold on.
Stop sharing for a minute.
Okay. I just came off. All right. I stopped sharing.
We apologize for our technical difficulties, but we are getting it together. Let me see if I can share it with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's not. So my co-host, Mr. Woods, is on. He's going to run the show today. So that is not what I was going to share. We are having some real technical difficulties today. I'm sorry about this.
Hey, you know what they say, hey, technology will never be better than us. It'll always default. That's why I need the human aspect, that created the middle word, right?
So, Mr. Woods, we can go off the top, even though we don't have the video. We were talking about duplication and how duplication is a key to success. And you wanted to bring this up because you had this thought, and I like where you were going with it. So give us a little idea of why you thought duplication or your feel in this, what it is, what you were trying to bring forth to our people.
So the reason why, I went after the topic of the power of duplication is because a lot of people, they always look at people that have major success financially, like the Oprah Winfrey's, the Michael Jordans, the Jeff Bezos, and some of the top leaders, in the money industry, and even Mr. Warren Buffett. And they try to figure out, how can I get to that level of making that type of cash or that type of, income. But believe it or not, a lot of those known wealth figures, they use the power of duplication in order for them to get to the levels of financial stability that they were looking for. And when I say that, meaning power of duplication is the same concept that franchises and chain food stores and chain stores that have franchises use in order for them to duplicate the numbers that they're looking for financially to get. So think about it. With the power of duplication, right? Even go back to the old Ray Kroc story, how they had a system for McDonald's, right? Ray Kroc, they would have hamburgers and they would have fries. And then along the line, they came up with the shake. So that was only three things that they used to have. But they created a system that was proven to, no matter where you go in the world, it doesn't matter if you're overseas, you're going to get that same hamburger, those same fries, and that same shake. And it doesn't taste another different, because they also created a university called Hamburger U. For all y'all that's been following, some of the history of, McDonald's, started Hamburger U. So the system, they actually go and teach them this system that works, whatnot like that. And that's the same little power of duplication. With the power of duplication, if I'm making, let's say, for instance, with that system of the hamburger system with Kroc and them had back then, right? If I'm able to generate, 100,000, take that same concept and go to Los Angeles, Idaho, China, Hawaii, whatever, and duplicate getting that 100,000. But it's the thing. Whenever you starting to do the power of duplication, you want to make sure that you take it to another area that you are going to be able to support your vision. And how you support your vision is a lot of people, they go and they look at the demographics of the area that they're about to bring these actual, the power on this power of duplication, meaning that, am I going to be able to support, this system to make this 100K? So one thing about it, they got people, that's what they do. They go to these areas, they do the demographics, see what type of people that's in this area, what's the median of funds that they make in these areas. And even to the fact of where they're going to place this actual establishment on that corner, they knew that this is a high biz corner area that is about to put this. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So they knew that, when they took this actual building to a high biz area, that it would get the actual numbers it's looking for, because they already did the research. They know what type of caliber of people in this area. They know the median of the type of money they make in this area, and it's being able to support this. And the power of duplication can help you become more wealthy yourself.
I think you're having some technical difficulty or something robotish, but from what I'm hearing you saying is that people need to create wealth, or to create they need to create a system for themselves, so that you won't have to be the one always working at something. Because I heard you say in one of our other roundtable that money doesn't work hard. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't complain. It doesn't break down. It doesn't get sick. It doesn't do any of that. So if you find something that you're doing, you have to find a system that you can put in place, so that if you have to walk away because you're sick, because you're tired, because you went on vacation, because you needed to help somebody else do something else, you need that system to be able to take somebody else and put in front of it, and it works the same way. Is that what, basically that's what you're saying?
Exactly. That's power in the power of duplication. That you can be duplicated by anyone, anywhere, at any time, as long as you run the system like you already placed. There's no use in to reinvent the wheel. And this is the forefront of what a lot of people gotta realize. That why try to reinvent, running a actual clothing business, other than, you putting your spin on it, and it's already making, 100,000 over here. I use that same concept and make 100,000 over in another area that I did the demographics at, and I did the research. So the actual conversation, a lot of people, wondering how can they step out and how can they start to really open up for them to not have to struggle ever in their life financially from the efforts that they're doing. You gotta be just like that. You gotta understand that you're gonna take the concept of how money works. Money is a tool, right? It's like the power of duplication is a tool, right? You're gonna use the power of duplication, and you're gonna duplicate it until you get the results that you want financially for you and your organization. And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? But the first thing, that is this: you gotta have the right mindset. You gotta be able to want to do something that you never did before in order for you to get the results that you never had before. You know what I mean? You cannot put in $50,000 a year work and think you're gonna make 100K duplicating it with a business. You're gonna have to actually definitely put in the work of the system of duplication to make 100,000. Exactly. It's bottom line. There ain't no other way around that. So think about this, Ms. Verna. You had ventures out of doing traditional brick and mortar businesses, right?
Correct.
So with your brick and mortar business, how much times would you have to and it's not about, about the numbers that you make. It is like, how much times would you have to duplicate what you did, with your brick and mortar business in order for you to create the number that you truly want? And like, let's say we're going to just go for 2 million, right? 2 million, 2 million. And I'm not talking about all your past experience, but let's say I'm making 100K in 100K as with your brick and mortar business. How many times do you have to duplicate that with brick and mortar? Now, this is what you got to factor in though. And I never had a brick and mortar, but I'm thinking, you got to think about the overhead of how much you got to pay for the bill. The bill is not yours, right? You got to think about all your supplies you're going to need in order for you to actually run your business monthly, so you can gauge how much you're going to use yearly, right? And then you got to look at, the cost of, you actually doing your services versus how much you actually bringing in order for you to really look at the true numbers on what you got going on. I mean, I might be kind of off, hey, I'm in a different space right now, but I'm saying as far as you run a brick and mortar business, is that somewhat to the concept of how it was running, or?
All of that has to come in play, but being in the space that I'm in right now, I'm thinking of a brick and mortar company or starting something brick and mortar. I think about exactly that. I realize that me by myself trying to make that type of money, especially in a service-oriented business, is only about so many hours in a day. It's only about so many people I could service in a day. So for me to create the kind of lifestyle or income that I want, I would have to duplicate myself maybe 10 to 20 times in order for me to make the kind of money that I want to make without burning myself out. So I would have to franchise 10, 20, 30, 40 times before I could actually say, you know what, I could relax now. The money's rolling in and I don't need to work as hard as I have to. Thinking about that, I wanted to start, back home we have this thing called a pate. It's something like the Jamaican beef patty, and it's something like the empanadas that Hispanics make. I want to start making those, but I say I don't want to have to be the one in the kitchen working it. But I realized in order for me to have that and to make a great income, so it'll be able to take care of my lifestyle, pay my mortgage, pay the light bill, pay the water bill, still take care of that particular place, I would have to come up with a system, just like what you're saying, a system so that I can hire somebody who may not know how to make pates, who may not know how the dough consistency work or the fillings work. I would have to come up with a system so when I bring that person in, it's running like McDonald's.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
And in order for it to run, go ahead.
And that's what I'm talking about. You don't want that pate to taste no different. You don't want the texture of the bread to be no different. You want them to get that same taste and that same feeling every time when they bite into that pate. Because
exactly.
That's what they pay for.
And that's what they call duplication.
Yeah. And, and even down to the color scheme of how people do things. Like right now I'm wearing a red shirt. They said red and yellow usually make people hungry, right? And me thinking about that, I'm like, man, what do I eat next? It's a thought process. But I don't know, it makes people have I guess emotional thing about, seeing those colors. That's the same thing like, when people, hear the sound of rushing water. The first thing they probably think about a shower, or they think about the ocean, or something. It's the same thing. And the same thing, but when I say that, not going off topic, is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel when you already got the blueprint of how it could work on any platform. And I put this out there because you can use the power of duplication in any
You're breaking up again, but I think I have access to that video that you wanted to share with the thing. And after we video play, those of you online, if you have any input in what it is we have to say, because Yeah, we're here on Zoom, but it's being streamed and it's going to be heard again over and over. It's going to be duplicated. Somebody's going to share it. Somebody's going to like it. The power of duplication. So if you have an input in what we're saying here today, we're going to ask you to come off mute, but we're going to play this video first. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me. And so that you can kind of get a better idea of where we are going with this.
Here's the deal. Don't worry about, I'm going to blow this up in a second. I just want you to see that you're going to have these, when you get serious, you're going to have these all over your wall and you're going to start shooting them like darts. Who needs somebody today? What? Chart. Every day when I wake up, somebody need to go on some of these lines. I got to show somebody how to shift their income away from the banks and government back to who? Somebody got to go on these lines. That's what I wake up and do every day. When I have events like Game Changer, we meet every 4 months, every February, every July or June, and every October. We meet every 4 months. All the OGs can attest to that. Every time we come in here, my purpose is to give you 3 days of mindset to show you how to start thinking differently about your finances so we can get out there and help some other people. Now, I'm going to be a little hard on you guys tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be a little hard on you because I think a lot of people have gotten away from the mission. Y'all starting to focus on minors. We don't focus on minors and extra digit. We only focus on majors. Majors is all that matter. We leave minor stuff to minor people. We're doing major things with major people. Stop focusing on minors. You start focusing on minors, you start looking like them. You start walking like them. You start talking like them. You start acting like them. Don't hang around minors. Focus on things that are major. You have to get your roadmaps out so that you can see the progress that you're having in your business. Number one, the importance of roadmaps. It increases your chances of being successful by 100%. What percentage? 100. A lot of you guys are aiming at nothing and you're hitting it dead on the head. Because you're not shooting for nothing. You just wake up every morning, talk to some people about the business, and you don't know why. Well, the reason for that is you're trying to take one giant step forward with your finances. And one way to do that is to get a bigger weekly check. And one way to do that is to get a bigger monthly check. I'm telling you guys, I'm living proof. A 5-figure residual is no joke. My residual check is 5 figures, and I'm not talking about barely. It's 5 figures a month. Why? Because I put a lot of people on those sheets. I put a whole bunch of people on those sheets. I wake up every morning like I'm throwing darts. Who needs somebody today? Not that I'm throwing people in for people, but if this person needs 2 people, I need to be making calls with that person. All you have to do is wake up and look at what lines are blank. That tells you where you need to be working. You can't just wake up though and be willy-nilly. I'm going to talk to some people. Why? See, it comes a point in your life, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, where you got to say, you know what? It's up to me now. You can't tell me it ain't 400 people out here between me and the efforts of some of my friends and them telling a few people, well, we can't scoop up 25 people a month. Let's go to work. See, at some point, you got to say to yourself, you know what? Let me stop playing around. Let me stop making excuses. Let me stop majoring in minors. Let me go ahead and get me a 4-figure weekly check. I've seen 5-figure weeks. People say, Brian, that's you. No, I was you too. I went to seminars. I got on conference calls. I introduced people. I sat my butt down. I took notes. Stop giving me the Brian Bean, that's you face. Brian Bean, that's you response. Because what that does is relieve you of your responsibility. I did mine already. And I'm still going. But what people do, they hear me talk. Brian, you got 5 figures residual. Brian, you had 5-figure weeks, but that's because you Brian Bean. Yeah, but I was you too. Write this down. Anything you want done, you should have started 5 years ago. And 5 is just a magic number. That's something I always say, but it's just this what I've been using theoretically just now. But anything you want done today, you should have started 5 years ago, which means if you want things to be different for you 5 years from now, you got to start today, guys. Don't make me mess around and have midnight madness in here. We just stay in here all night and just forget the room. We just pack out the night. You sleep over there, I'm over there. We wake up and go at it in the morning. I got a lot on my mind. Last game changer, my heart was heavy. Y'all ready? My heart was heavy last time. Game changer was a trip last time. I saw a poor man die in front of me. Couldn't help him. Saw another man get cut in half by a motorcycle. I couldn't help him. So I saw a man that was walking, but when I saw him, I saw a man that was alive when I saw him, and they were both one amputee and one dead 60 seconds later. That was last game changer. I had a lot on my mind. My heart was heavy. I use these just like y'all use them. It's therapy. But this ain't that. These sheets help increase your success by what? They build self what? Esteem. Self-esteem is important. Self-esteem is the feeling of accomplishment. That's important. You got to have high self-esteem. You get low self-esteem when you sit around all day and don't do nothing. You get high self-esteem when you wake up and see that these charts were blank and now 3 of them full. Who would agree? That helps, right? Yes, sir. See, a lot of y'all going to sleep and your sheets look the same that it did the night before. That's why your check look the same. Brian, it ain't working. No, the it is you. Brian, it ain't working. The it is you. You can't go to bed with the sheet with 6 names on it, and in your whole organization, it still got 6 names on it. Guys, in network marketing, there's no such thing as gray. Your group is growing or dying. If your group is even flat, it's dying. Because every day, at least one person should join. See, everybody want big dreams, but think little things. That don't match. Everybody want the business to work. But what if I tell you right now, throw $200 a month into your investment account? Man, that ain't gonna be tight. I don't make $200 a month. See, the reason you don't have it is because it was shifted from you. But you get mad at me when I say I got a 5-figure residual and growing, and you look at me and say, that's you. No, I shifted my income years ago. You can't catch compound interest. You can't catch it. When you wake up and check your investment account and your money made money, ain't nothing like it. You put $4,000 in yesterday and the next day it's $4,400. You made $400 with some money. Then you compound that $4,400 because it's not $4,000 no more. It's 44 what? It's $4,400. So the $400 they gave you that you earned with money compounds again. The next month you throw another $400 in there because now you see it's working. Now you don't have $4,800. You got the compound interest of your 4,000, the 44, and your extra 4. But for some of you guys, it's not working for you. No, because you're not working it. You don't have no self-esteem. You're not waking up every morning with purpose. You know what it is? You don't believe. So it's hard to talk about something you personally don't believe in. You know why you don't believe? Because you're not working a business. You know why you're not working a business? Because you don't believe. Now you got a self-defeating prophecy instead of self-fulfilling prophecy. See, I had a self-fulfilling prophecy. The bigger my check got, the bigger my belief got. I'm like, damn, this work. And then when it worked, you tend to what? Work it. And then it works some more. And then you throw a little bit more money in your account, and then it works some more. And then you see that $20,000 is now $24,000 by the end of the month. Oh, Brian, it dipped down. It went down to 22. That's the market. As long as you don't sell, you don't lose. Oh, my fault. You still thinking like a checking account. Brian, the Dow is down. You didn't even know what Dow was. You just read it that morning. The number's down. My investment's down. Look, sit tight. The market corrects itself all the time. It has to go down to go back up. The market is just like your life. If you can look up, you can get up. We're going to break it down, but the first thing you got to do is accept the fact that your belief system got to go up. You're not going to fill out the charts if you don't believe with that kind of mindset. So if you really want to travel the world, get busy. If you really want your kids to be millionaires and leave a legacy, get busy. You only here for a little while. Guys, do you really understand that? You only really here for a little while. So you got to maximize it. Do everything with passion so that your results will show up passionately. Do everything with
Mr. Woods, you still out there?
Yes, I definitely am. I know I said I'm having some technical difficulties, but it's all good. I'm gonna tell you, that's the key point that I wanted, to focus in on. people stop dreaming when they don't have positive vision on where they really want to take things in their life. And we need to start dreaming again. A lot of people stop dreaming because of a lot of factors. Some say I wasn't born with money. Some say, listening to their friend and telling them they can't do stuff. Some look at all the hurdles in the process that they have to go to get to where they've been to. But one thing I can say, man, the honest thing is this, Brian said, the hardest thing you're going to ever do in this life is becoming wealthy. It's the hardest thing you can ever do in your life. And if, being well off or, making sure that, that when you create something, you got a dream and a vision for something was easy, everybody will be doing it. But they're not. But they will punch. I want to say the caveat, not knocking jobs, but they will punch that clock every single day. And a lot of people looking for something new and different. But you can't get nothing new or different if you just settle. The word settle, the settling, when you settle for something, you're not going to look outside of settling. You got to, have it. It got to be something in you that really wants this bad enough for you to want to duplicate what you're doing. Because think about it. How many times have you said, I wish I had another me? Or like, if I had 2 or 3 of me, well, I'll be straight. But let's face the facts. There'll never be another you. When we were made, you were made unique in your own image. But this system we talk about in place about the power of duplication, you can reinvent that every time because it's man-made. Does that mean a woman can use it? A man can use it, So my thing is this. We need to start dreaming and living our dreams again. Dreaming doesn't stop when you're a kid and become an adult. Because see, when you was a kid, it was a dream, it was a thought process. And until you turn over 18, there's only certain things you can't do. Now, when you become emancipated to be 18, the door starts to be wide open for things you're going to be able to do. And the only reason why, a lot of kids ain't able to start their dreams early is because they still at adolescence. They still got a level of maturity that they have to go to. But with this power of duplication, I'm trying to think about it. When is the average person going to get out that childlike mindset of thinking of working 40 for 40 when they can be creating the power of duplication and starting that home-based business or starting a business as a whole, or starting a system and placing a system as a whole that can make, light on everything that they really wanted and imagine. Think about it.
That puts me in mind, Brian, of work. I mean, we think about duplication when it comes down to workers. Say we need something done. We'll go and hire a couple people to get it done because we know it can get done faster. So the work could be cut down a little faster. But we don't think that same way with money. Now we don't realize that money works that same way. If you put money and you put it in a place where it can be duplicated, it's going to work even better. And what works better if me, you, Dr. Regina on the line, Mr. Hardley on the line, all of us working together to make our money work for us. Our money's working for each one of us individually, but it's working to bring all of us back triple, double, 5 times what it was going to bring us if we did it by ourselves. That's the power of that duplication. Because I could put my money in and it's going to bring me back 1 time. But if I put my money in and you put your money in, now it's 2 times. Dr. Regina joined the bandwagon, that's 4 times. Chris comes on, that's 3 times. Chris comes on, now that's 4 times it's working. But mine's working for me, yours working for you, hers working for her, his working for him, but is working all together and bringing each one of us 4 times what it was going to bring us if we did it by ourselves.
Hey, and that's exactly what that power would do for you. And
so, Brian, I want to ask our guests if they want to come off mute. I'm going to give you the ability to unmute yourself. And if you want to say something to add to what it is we're saying, please do so. Because this is now an open forum for us. And it's not just about me and Brian. Like we said, this roundtable is about bringing knowledge and power to the people so that they'll be able, and we don't want them to think it's just us, think like this. So Mr. Chris, I see you on mute. And I'm going to bring you to spotlight if you don't mind.
Hello, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
So the basics of this is you have to shift your mindset. If you want to grow, you first got to put yourself in the area where you can grow. I mean, you cannot grow in a field of weeds. You got to grow in a spot where somebody's going to nourish you and somebody's going to help push you along the way. Because at the end of the day, we win together. That's how we win. When we put our minds together, when we focus on our vision and having a purpose of what we want to do in life, that's when we have movement. That's when we have movement.
Thank you for your input, Chris. Dr. Regina, let me get this one. And this one. Go ahead. Hi, Dr. Regina.
Peace and blessings. You know, y'all talking right. You know, we have to have a mindset in order for our income to shift and for us to help other people and, you know, to come in so that they can see the light as we have saw the light, because we have to some point change our way of thinking, because what you visualize, you materialize and you bring it into manifestation. That's why it's imperative that we write the vision and make it plain, because our goals have to be written upon paper, which is tablets according to the Bible, so that you can run with it. And now you know what you're going after each day. Just like Brian said on those charts, you got to be aiming at something to hit it. If you're not aiming at nothing, then you're going to get nothing. So nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So we're not in the business of leaving nothing. We're in the business of leaving a legacy as well as living the legacy. And that's why this roundtable is very imperative, that we basically plug in and stay plugged in and never lose, you know, that spark. You know, like they say, you got to plug into the wall to get the juices flowing. So that's what we have to do in this business. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dr. Regina. Mr. Woods, you out there?
Mr. Wyatt, man, how you doing out there today, man?
Amazing.
Awesome. Hey, so everybody, man, we're gonna shift gears. We were talking about the power of duplication, you know, over here prior to Mr. Dwayne coming. But hey, our actual guest of honor is here, Mr. Dwayne White, man. Hey, without further ado, man, I met this guy, you know, over 10 years ago. I served with him in the armed forces. And hands down, I'll tell you what, he has a remarkable story. And I'll tell you what, when we were talking about, you know, a lot of people be counting themselves out, or you letting doubt fool you, or something to that effect. This man has definitely proven, you know, 100 times over, that never let somebody count you out on your way to success. And man, this guy has an awesome contracting firm. And he's given his time of day to let us into a world that some know about contracting, but many have never heard of someone owning a contracting firm. So without further ado, I want to bring to the stage today, Mr. Dwayne White. Hey, Dwayne, how you doing today, my guy?
Mr. White, if you come on camera, I can add you to the spotlight.
Okay. There you go.
Hello. I'm sorry. I was switching over to my laptop from my phone.
Awesome.
But I heard I could hear everything. How was everyone? Man, crazy. Like, thank you, Mr. Woods, for having me. I definitely appreciate you. Yeah, I am the owner of, I serve with, you know what I'm saying, Old Song Woods, you know what I'm saying, in Germany. And I was actually, now we're gonna get funky, right?
Hey, let them know your story. I want everybody to tune. This is a good story. Tell them your story, man.
I was pretty much arranging a lot of illegal paraphernalia to be transferred and distributed throughout Europe. And I got court-martialed for it. Mr. Woods, literally, I think was there when I came back from AWOL to, you know, top some strings. And he got firsthand, you know what I'm saying, how they treat African Americans with a certain perception, right? So I went, got my dishonorable, did my 3 years, got out, and you know, they told me I couldn't have my benefits. Really? Nah. Gimme. In about what, a year, I got my benefits. Right? 100%. Mr. Woods.
It's facts. That's factual.
So again, that's one sentiment of what we know, that when you have a dishonorable discharge, you don't get any benefits. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. That's actually a felony, right?
That's true.
So I took that felony and I got a contracting position at the Securities and Exchange Commission with the clearance. Right? What's the saying? Dishonorable discharge, felony. That means do not pass go, no federal jobs, no none of that. You're done. So I bounced around and I actually acquired a Q clearance with the Department of Energy and the National Nuclear Security Administration. And I bounced around from the Securities and Exchange Commission, the NSA, the NNSA, the Department of Energy, the Department of Defense. I worked for the Senate, the White House, and actually about 3 persons away from the illustrious former president, which I had to curse out because he felt some type of way about me watching CNN instead of Fox News. So my awakening happened when I worked for the McKellar Corporation, and it was ran by a white retired light colonel. And my responsibilities as a program manager was the curriculum for advising and teaching these GS 13, 14, 15, and SCSs to become advisors in Hungary, Turkey, mostly Afghanistan. And I found out that, wow, like this is a disabled veteran, and he's doing it from 2007, his company's inception to date, he's amassed $143 million.
Wow. That's a lot of cash flow, man. It's a
Right.
lot of cash. Yeah.
From 2007. And Brian, like, if you would be so kind as to offer me the host, so I
Okay.
can share my screen.
Hey, Ms. V, could you make Mr. White the host? He's gonna, give us some intel on how it is to be a contracting firm owner. He's gonna let us into some of that insight. So all right, yeah. Hey, so she just gave you host privileges, man. And so everybody, this conversation with Mr. White, this is just to let the world know that don't let nobody count you out just because of your past. And he's about to be transparent and show us that even though, they tried to make it seem like he would never, take it to the levels he's taking to it right now, that's not true. So he's going to let us into some of the insight of what he does as a contracting firm owner out in the great state of Maryland, Bmore to be exact, Baltimore. So, hey, whenever you're ready to do your thing, man, hey, do your thing, White, man. We just want to know what you be doing and how awesome it is, Because right now I'm looking at you in the comfort of your home. So you ain't told us that you do a lot of your work from home.
Yeah, man, I don't leave my house. And I've amassed 9 figures. Easy.
Awesome.
So, Mr. White,
yes, ma'am.
I've heard part of your story a little bit. Brian talking to me, letting me know that he was talking to you on the phone about contracting. And from what you said was you were in the service, you did some stuff that you weren't supposed to do, you got caught, you got put out, you got a felony, and basically what you're doing right now, you are not supposed to be able to do it with what has happened to you in the past. This was never something that you were supposed to be able to do because of your past.
Right. And then when you compound that with me being Black, it's like a double whammy, right?
Okay. So how did you end up getting to the point where you were able to do this? Is this where you're going with it now?
Yes, because it literally, when you're put in crazy situations like that, where you have a felony or you have something that is by society terms or by your own past knowledge that disqualifies you from certain opportunities. That may be the case, right? That may be the case. So what I did was I took that as okay, well, this disqualifies me from being an employee.
Okay.
Cool. Guess I got to be the owner then.
Yeah, because with a background like that, it'd be hard to get a job.
Right. But again, like most Black men that I know with records, they're not as ambitious and forward thinking as me. It's usually, I'm going to go into trucking, or I'm going to go into landscaping, or I'm going to go into construction, not even as a general contractor, but just as maybe an electrician. And I'm sorry, and that's no shade, it's no shade. But would you rather be an electrician or own the firm that supplies 30 electricians? Which one?
And most people with that background would think that they can't have that.
Exactly. But and I'm going to share my screen and share one of my has failed. Please try again later. Okay, it's not allowing me to share, so. Hmm. Screen sharing has failed to start. Please try again later. Okay, so we're gonna rock out with well, I guess just us. What I managed to do was I sat down and I read the tax law front to back. I've read the FARS, that's the book that, or the regulation that governs government contracting on a federal level. And I looked around and I really didn't have any mentors or anyone to talk to about how to start a government contracting firm and to actually win contracts. So the concept that I had was how can I set my ass down and make as much money as possible without doing next to shit for it. And one example is my social media management contract that I have with the West Palm Beach Veterans Affairs Administration, right? That I was awarded this contract August of last year. And my responsibilities with that contract is to literally supply them with a heightened social media presence. And it reads very intimidating because you have to produce numbers. But what us as people, what I find is that we lack advanced comprehension skills. And literally, to comprehend the contract, the legal language, is to be able to manipulate the contract and get them to do what you want. You have to treat it like a NFL negotiating, like you're not going to get what you don't ask for. Flat out. So I asked to run their national nurse recruitment campaign. It's going to cost me about $350,000 a month. I asked the VA for close to $1 million a month. So the contract is 4 months, 2.9 million. And I'm going to make about a $420,000 profit monthly until December. Now, the big question becomes, well, Dwayne, what do you have to do to execute this contract, to maintain this contract? I get an email from the VA with the material that they want advertised, and I forward that email to Comcast.
Can I ask you to speak up a little bit louder for me? 'Cause
Oh,
I want to hear everything, make sure I'm hearing everything.
This is good, man. This is real good.
I have not left my house, right? I haven't went anywhere. I haven't had to jump on a plane. I haven't had to spend any money.
So, Mr. White, is there something special that you have to do to get into the contracting field where you are now contracting? So I want to get in there. What would be my, what would I have to do? Is there something, a special degree I need to have? Is there a special?
Oh yeah, you need a certificate from the LMAX Solutions Junior Contractor School.
Okay.
Because what I do is I and Mr. Woods is very familiar with this term. It's called right seat ride. You know, where I put my people in position to not only start their own firm, but educate them on how to pursue contracts. It's learning a new language. It's unlearning a lot of what you think you know. Because people really don't understand the confines that they've been literally finessed and built into their foundational psyche. If I tell you, you can do this, you will tell me, well, I have these barriers, and then I just get turned off because you probably haven't been through what I've been through. So if I have felonies, if I could bring a loaded 45 into the National Nuclear Security Administration and turn around and do business with it and get locked up, get arrested, because I don't do the whole, you know, Republican intimidation, Trump shit, you know, that shit don't fly with me. But I've turned around and done business with them, right? That same organization. I've sold suicide mattresses to state prisons. The same ones that I've slept on. I think that's the most gangster thing that I've done. But the whole concept is generational wealth. And what do you have to do for it? How much time are you putting into earning this money? Right? Like what people sneak on their job to do on Facebook, I get paid to do. Make it make sense. 15 seconds, $2,000. 20 seconds, $1 million. And we haven't even talked about my PPE business, right? That I was selling masks, water, gloves, bio gloves, like medical courier services. I have a construction firm. I have a professional speaking firm, well, like Facet, where I charge about $40,000 to an 8-hour class. I've taught emotional intelligence at the U.S. Army Department of Engineers. I've sold water for $7,000. Water.
Wow. Hey, so a white. Now, this was all, this was all at the height of COVID-19, or was this or this is in present day?
Like it's when I started, I asked myself, how can, what field can I get into that's going to sustain my business long term, that I won't have any problem getting business? And that's the medical field. Right?
Understood.
And this was pre-COVID. Right? I started my firm in April of 2019, officially. But I've been working on that, since since I was in prison. So for that to happen and for me to liquidate all of my bullshit, right? Sold my car and all that, and I brought it to a mass factory down in Florida. And that allowed me to get that first order with the VA and pay my house off.
Wow. It's amazing. That's truly amazing. And but this is the thing. If you was a young like a young leader out there right now, and they was listening to this conversation, because this conversation is real heavy, what insight would you give them if they actually wanted to start a firm, a contracting firm like you? What would be the best starting point for them? Like a young leader that's watching this right now.
Us as people, we try to reinvent the wheel. When I talk to young aspiring businessmen or entrepreneurs, number one, we don't even know the difference between businessmen and entrepreneurs. There's a difference. I would say, don't reinvent the wheel. If you have a particular skill that you have 10 to 15 years in, and let's say that's HR, why the fuck are you talking to me about some goddamn pool hall shit? It makes no, come on, guy. Like, what are we doing? That makes no sense. You have no past history. You don't have the money. You just have some rinky-dink idea. And you want to, because you're passionate about it. And it's not to discount one's passion, but to think that you're going to start something totally different as opposed to what you've been doing for the past 20 years. Most of us don't have the money to do that, or the time, or both. So if your past history says construction, if it says electrical, if it says human resources, human capital, then you start there and you build your business ideology with what you know. And relationships are everything. Relationships are everything. Because if you want a $5 million contract, you really think that a contracting official that doesn't know you is going to entrust you with that responsibility to deliver the goods or professional services? If you don't deliver, like, that contracting official might get fired. Well, they will get fired. They might get sued, right? That contracting official, that's a heavy responsibility. So they're not. Yes, ma'am.
So how do you get to start building those relationships?
That's where, we come in and we have a conversation, right? Because I have developed a program that literally teaches you where to go, how to approach a contracting official, what to say to a contracting official, what not to say to a contracting official. Because it matters. The government, federal contracting world is a totally different beast. And you need to know the regulations. You need to know how to properly submit a response. There's a lot of red tape and legal jargon that you need to be familiar with. That these contracting firms actually hire lawyers to do. I just have, I'm just retarded smart. But question?
Yes, I'm not. You made me. You made me lose my train of thought. It's gonna come back. Go ahead, say what you were saying.
Um, and that's literally why a lot of us African Americans aren't contract owners. We're contractors. We're program managers. We have PMPs, right? We even have degrees. But I employ doctors. I employ lawyers. I employ these people who have the 15 years experience, have the, come on.
Okay. I got my train of thought back. So who is a great target market for a contracting firm? Sorry for my accent.
You're fine. Well, that's the whole fun about government contracting. You get to put on makeup and be whoever you want to be. LMAC Solutions, not LMAC Logistics, not LMAC Electronics, not LMAC, what else? Courier Services, but LMAC Solutions. Pretty bland, right?
Okay.
So, but that allows everywhere. Go ahead.
I'm not a question, but I'm also going to ask, if you don't mind, if my guests on the line, if they have any questions for you, do you mind if we open up the lines for them to ask anything that they may want to ask?
Come on.
If y'all have any questions for him, you can unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, you can go ahead talking, and if I see them on mute, then I'll let them in.
So pretty much like, and Brian put out there the millionaire in 6 months. Like $1 million is not a lot of money, you know. But I know that, you know, a lot of people don't have. But I don't know. The highest invoice that I've sent the government was about 26 million. That's my highest payout to date.
Mhm.
But I'll leave my house. Again, I try to educate people about perception, because again, this is the government. Like when you speak to people, you know, like look at you. People look at your everything about you. And I know that, you know, again, $26 million, that's a lot of money. Again, like, you know, I'm not foreign to large sums of money. So I don't feel, and I've never felt the need to, you know, buy a whole bunch of materialistic stuff. I think Mr. Woods can attest to that. Like I've never been like, even though I was over there getting money, you know, I just wasn't like, I'm not a loud person. I'm more so about the accomplishment in education. Because again, like I start to feel some type of way when I see my people working for someone. So that means that you're enriching someone else. You're giving your time, your energy, your existence to that entity. When you go to work, you're giving your best hours to that entity. What does a single mother's day look like? Wake up, kids, husband, work, kids, husband, food, clean. So what does that leave her? About what, 15 minutes to herself? So it would be dope for that single mother to not have to do an OnlyFans, to not have to do some wild shit to, you know, put food on the table. Maybe she picks up her cell phone and boosts a government organization's post on social media for $70 and gets paid $2,500, all from her phone.
So, Mr. White, are you looking, what is it that your firm does right now? What is it that you're looking for right now from the people? Are you looking to contract or show other people how to do what it is you're doing to become their own firm? Are you looking for more contractors? What is it that you are looking for? So that, and then also give us your contact information, the information for you, for people to get in contact with you, to be able to partner with you after they see this this live, so that they'll know if they want to do this, how they can get in contact with you.
This current contract that I'm working now is a medical professional service contract, and it's with the Veteran Affairs Network. So there are 1,400 VA facilities in existence globally. So this contract that I've won is called an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract, an IDIQ. And I will be tasked with providing clinical, non-clinical, and program support professional services throughout all of the VA healthcare system, all of those 1,400 odd hospitals. This is a 10-year contract. This is a 10-figure 10-year contract. So it's not the fact of I need contractors, it's more so people who want the information, who want to be on their own time, want to not have to wait 10 years to see 1 million. Again, you can see 10 in 6. It's not that hard. I mean, I know it's unheard of and a little bit unfathomable, but I've done it. So
Give us your contact information so that someone who is seeing this and hear what you just said, and they want to contact you, or your email, if you have Facebook, if you have phone, whatever it is you
have, right. So everyone has Google LMAC Solutions. Simple. L space MAC space solutions. I'm global.
Okay.
I have a very healthy social media presence. As a matter of fact, firms actually look up other firms who have federal active contracts. So I get solicited literally on a daily basis for big firms to work either with me or for me. So I never have, like, I don't need, like, I'm not here to, hey, I need, no, because I have, like, I'm pretty much self-sustained. So I'm just here in a lecture, teaching, more so mentor capacity. If you want these tens of, like, I don't need anyone. Sorry. I'm pretty sure people will need me before I need them.
So basically, you're looking for other people who want to become, not
Mm,
come like you, come like you.
yeah,
In a
like
sense. That's
like
a better.
I'm not really looking for anybody, but for the people who want the information, for the people who want to be on their own time, for a fee, I will make my time available to them to mold them into their own boss. And when I say their own boss, I mean, I'm going to put you in a position where you have employees that have degrees, right? Thank you. Like we don't. So yeah, let's clear that up. LMAX Solutions is a government sanctioned firm, and we do business with the U.S. government, to include the VA, the Post Office, Homeland Security, NATO. We have supported the Ukraine in weapons. We have supported the National Institute of Health and biomedical commodities. And we have provided the United States Army with numerous courses, right? Again, you have your Browning Roots, you have your Kelly Services, you have your Accentures, and now it's time for African Americans to be in the conversation as owners of contractor firms. If you see yourself wanting to be an owner of a federally sanctioned contractor firm, then Mr. Brian Woods is the person to talk to, and he will funnel you to me. Because my time is precious, and my time is money.
Hey, awesome, Mr. White, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I really like the fact that give us insight into your world.
And I apologize for the because I'm a receipt person, okay. And for some reason, you know, like I couldn't share my screen.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But again, like Mr. Woods can attest, I send him multiple receipts almost on a daily basis. You know, and like I totally understand, you know, it's unfathomable. I get it. I totally understand it. But it's not impossible. I have done the work. I have the actual contracts. It's not fucking hard. If you stay consistent and believe in yourself. Damn, that shit sounds cliche. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Like, man, I feel old. I'm sorry. Like, Jesus. Like, I sound like somebody's grandfather. Like, you can do anything that you put your mind to. Like whoever said that deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, because I promise that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all I've done. When people told me no, fuck you, yes. And that has gotten me here. Yes, I've failed. I've slipped. I've fallen. I've bust my head open to the white meat. I didn't put no methylate on it. And, you know, it's a little scab, but then, you know, I had to, you have to go through the rain to get to the sunshine. People quit before, like, as soon as they see the clouds, they checked out. And that's us. And I see it. From where I sit, I've watched us fail. I've watched my brothers fail. Lack of accountability, fail. Lack of self-awareness, fail. Lack of comprehension, fail. Lack of active listening, fail. You can't get other results on microwave time, pimp. And that's us. This took me 10 years to get to.
I am glad then, because this is exactly what the roundtable is for. Is for people to understand that a lot of times it's not who you are or your environment that you grew up or what you didn't get. It is what you go after is what you will receive. And if you go after it till you see it through. And that's what we're trying to get people to see. It's not that you don't have the information, it's that you may not be looking in the right place.
Oh, you're
You
not?
know how to ask the right questions. You may not know the right terminology. It's not that it's not possible, it's that you just need the right guidance.
You don't know what you don't know until someone tells you.
And then we have to believe it when they tell us. That's a part for a lot of people too. Then you got to believe them when they tell you.
And dude, why does it take 3 people to solidify what I told you? And that's us. That's us as people. That's us as people. Yeah, oh, because you know, you told me, and then like my man told me, and then I'm like, yeah. Well, what happened when I told you? Why do you have to go through the whole what the other people told you? We as a people need to get out of our own way and listen. And listen, like I've had to humble myself. I love to encounter people who know more than me. Shut me up so I can learn.
You said something key earlier, be an active listener. And that's what a lot of people aren't. They aren't active listeners. They're not actually hearing what the person is saying because they're already formulating in their mind their response. So if you already formulate in your mind the response, then you're not listening to what the person is saying. You're being defensive.
And that's a very common trait amongst us. A very common trait. Almost exclusive. And I can say that because I'm on this level. And I put us in positions and watch them fail due to a lack of self-awareness and a lack of accountability. So if you want to be anywhere successful in this, you're going to have to be an active listener. Narcissism will not be tolerated in government contracting because it's too dependent on relationships. And no one likes a narcissist because it'll show. I've literally mentored one of my mentors. Like I was private, she was a E6. And I told her to not be so aggressive in engaging this one contracting official. And she did not listen. And she was blocked by that contracting official, right? And then when she came back, it was like, oh, that half a block me, you know, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I was like, well, you called her again, didn't you? Oh, yeah, but it's her job no, it's your job to learn that contracting official and succumb to the way they do things. because they need you, right? So if you come into this game thinking that you know everything, thinking that things are going to go your way, thinking that things will happen when you want them to happen, or per your perception of when they are supposed to happen, then you're not going to win. You're going to lose. You're not going to win any contracts, and you're literally going to blackball yourself out of government contracting because contracting officials talk.
Awesome. Hey, so, hey, Mr. White, hey, we're gonna go ahead and closure, because you already set the bar. You already set the bar for people that think it's easy on earning the right to have a contract firm. But if they serious about shifting the where they at in life financially and really hungry about taking the whole new level, this would definitely be something that, you know, somebody that's trying to shift their whole generation as far as wealth wise into doing something bigger and better. It's definitely would be. So yeah, we're gonna shut it down. And,
we're not the Zoom, but we're gonna close off our YouTube. And if you want to, we can hear, because somebody else just chimed in, may have a question. So we're gonna go ahead and close the YouTube. So those of you from the round table, thank you for sharing this information, being here with us. If you see this information and you know that it is life-changing, please share this with your fellow people, because we don't have to stay where we are. We are where we are because we choose to be there. Mr. Woods, do you have anything else to say to close off our roundtable?
hey, I'd like to thank Mr. White for taking the time out to let us into a world that a lot of us are very vague and don't have no knowledge about. And I want to say that, man, hey, thank you for what you're doing, because this right here, this conversation can definitely help a lot of people that are in a dark place that never thought that because they got, you know, a past that wasn't the brightest, that don't let nobody count you out just because of your past experience in your time, that you need to go ahead and push forward and go against the grain and become the best you can be in any field. And I'll tell you right now, this is the first time I ever met somebody that I knew that has a contracting firm. I met people that I know that got contracted, but this contracting firm thing hit way different. So I definitely would say, follow LMAX Solutions, and you can be another person that's out there that can have a firm today. That's if you're serious about taking it to a whole nother realm. So I want to say thank you, Mr. White.
Hey, I definitely appreciate y'all and you guys sharing your platform with me. I'm definitely humbled and gracious and thankful. I share you guys' vision on educating minorities, or people that look like us. I honestly don't even like using the term minorities because we are the majority.
Yeah, exactly.